Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we've got a Black Library review for you, and today we're going to be talking about The Devastation of Baal by Hayley. This has been a series that I've really been trying to get back and catch up on. It's been something that's been sitting in my to-listen to read pile for quite some time, as I am a massive fan of the Blood Angels. And so, like, hearing about how they are all going and how, I guess, the whole 40k change in the lore and all of that sort of stuff, the progression of the timeline and, you know, the Maledictum and all the giant split in the galaxy and the Primaris and all that affects the Blood Angels, I'll be really interested to sort of listen and read about what exactly is happening to the Blood Angels. And so, Devastation of Baal by Hayley goes over the time of the Blood Angels when they're about to be assaulted by Hive Fleet Leviathan, or Behemoth. Okay, forget. My terrible thought there. Completely forgot which one of the two I'm supposed to remember. But either way, they're being assaulted by a Hive Fleet. And they've called all the chapters of the Blood to Baal in order to defend these three planets so that... Because if Baal falls, then the entire galaxy towards the northern is just exposed to the Tyranid threat. And so the Tyranids must be stopped at Baal by the Brothers of the Blood. And so we get into reading about various different characters from different chapters. We obviously have our main character, which without a doubt is Dante throughout the entire book. But we actually open on some serfs from, or some inhabitants from one of Baal's moons. And we just sort of lean and listen to a little bit about them. And eventually we get our Blood Angels brought into it. Eventually, and all our Space Marines brought into the story. And the story really starts to pick up from there. There's some really great scenes in this. And the story's whole sort of purpose throughout the entire book is to tell us how the Blood Angels get to where they are. Get to what happens throughout the entire crusade and everything in the war in Cadia. They sort of know that Cadia is in trouble. There's characters missing like Karlan and Astarath are obviously not at the defense of Baal because they're off at the defense of Cadia. We go and listen to some of the other characters as well. And not just that, we get a look at some really interesting other Blood Angels chapters, as well as get like a look at some of the other characters from these chapters. We learn about particular other ones of note. We get to see like the Knights of Blood and the Flesh Terrors, obviously with Gabriel Seth being one of our sort of more recurring characters throughout the entire story, as is normal with Blood Angels. They are the most, you know, famous of the successor chapters, but we also hear about other things like the Angels in Carmine and Castellan Zargo. We then get other chapters that I've never heard of properly, and we get mentions of Blood Drinkers, which makes me really, really happy because I'm a massive Blood Drinker fan. The Sons of Sangui Saga, my favourite Space Marine chapter. And so the story sort of progresses, and we get this sort of look at like Dante. I've never really got a Dante before. I really love him as a character where he's so old, and he puts on that mask and he carries that mask everywhere, and it really just allows him to hide his face, and people and even other Space Marines sort of see him almost as Sanguinius himself, and it makes for a really interesting sort of story. But with that said, Dante is our main character through the story, and so we sort of have this progression of like Dante holding the defense, being elected leader of the defense. He asks his brother, and they unanimously give him the, I guess, order of the the leadership of the defense of Baal, and many different chapters sort of swear fealty to him, including those that would otherwise not. So there's chapters that are maybe branded as heretics like the Knights of Blood, or that Dante himself has banned from Baal, all rock up and they all swear fealty to him, which is awesome. And so the story just sort of continues on the defense. I really like the side of the Tyranid story that it tells as well. It tells a Tyranid story where the Tyranids aren't some mindless being, they're not some ravenous hunger, they're a thinking, calculating being, and it gives you sort of the idea that the Hive Mind's actually trying to eliminate the Blood Angels throughout the story, that it actually knows what's happening. So this is really, really cool. that the hive mind is much more than just this animalistic hunger. It is a thinking, living being that has its own pains and pleasures and hatreds and dislikes, and can, I guess, want revenge at points as well, which is really cool. And so we get onto like more of the story as it progresses, and we get this progression of Dante as a character from this sort of battle-hardened character that has the victory in his grasp to seeing all these devastations hit the Blood Angel, and Dante really start to doubt himself as a character throughout the book. And it's this progression of Dante sort of seeing that maybe he has done his service, maybe it is his time to go, maybe he's done. And we get some really great parts throughout the story of other characters either agreeing or disagreeing on how they feel about Dante. But at the end, he is given one last task. And I won't spoil too much on that, what that one last task is, but it was really good, the ending of this story. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. With that said, though, let's talk about what about this book is good. So, it gives so much character to Dante and to other characters. It does a great job of just throwing names in there for other chapters for you to sort of get names in there. Like I said, there's some major characters mentioned, some major little bits and pieces. I love that the Knights of Blood and the Angels of Million get shown in there. We hear things of the Blood Drinkers and the Signs of the Blood. We also get like confirmation that some chapters are Blood Angel successors, like the Blood Swords have always been one that is rumoured but never confirmed. We get things like the Charnel Guard appear as well, which is really cool. And then some other ones as well, Brothers of the Blood. And I like that they throw all these, and other characters and other characters that we've heard before are thrown in there, like Castellan Zargo of the Angels in Carmine. Is thrown in there as well, and there's just other name drops all around the place. You start to remember some of the names from other Blood Angel stories that we've heard, and it all just sort of gives us a good overall story. It does a great job at showing the Blood Angels. It also does a great job, obviously, as I just mentioned, about the Tyranids. If this had any negatives, I'm honestly not sure what they are. I think this is honestly one of the best 40k novels I've read since coming back to 40k stuff. I really, really enjoyed the story. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Guy Hayley did a fantastic job of this. And apparently there's more in this saga of Blood Angels, so I'm definitely going to be diving headfirst into all of that stuff. If you're a fan of the Blood Angels, you're going to really enjoy this. And Tyranid players and Tyranid fans, you'd like this story too, to be honest. It really does give you a good showing of what Tyranids can do and how they sort of work and function and how they're not just mindless beings. So if you're a Tyranid fan, I do recommend picking this up to give it a listen. While it is Blood Angels focused, it does have some really cool parts with like Tyranid thinking and all of that sort of stuff in it as well. With that said, though, it is a really good book. This is by far one of the best Black Library things I've read of recent times. I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts on it and what you all thought of it as well. Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from everyone, but 10 out of 10 for me. This is by far one of the best Black Library things I've read and listened to in a long, long time. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And also, why not drop us a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel more and in another way, you can do so either by supporting on Patreon or YouTube members. You can do either of these by following the links in the video's description, and as a special thing for everyone who would like to give a shout out, first of all, to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domer, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And a special shout out as well to our YouTube members, Greenrich Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, and Sean Scott. Lastly, a special thank you to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you can see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our Discord server, making sure it all works nice and properly over there. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.